Hi everyone on YouTube and all the NFL YouTube prognosticators and football fans everywhere. This is Andrew Warren, back here once again, giving you my thoughts on the 2021-2022 NFL Divisional Round and my picks for the Conference Championship games. Check it out. Well, first off, I get to my thoughts. I want to say some other news on the NFL world is Sean Payton stepping down as the New Orleans Saints head coach, which is he did a phenomenal job for the New Orleans Saints. Did that for the past at least 16 years on the team. Been there since 2006. Been to like 3 conference championship games. Won one of them and won a Super Bowl out of that. And he changed the culture of that team because the New Orleans Saints were a lost cause for all those years. From the first years in the 60s and the 70s, they were in 1980 season, which is one of their worst seasons ever, up into the Dome Patrol era with Jim Moore as the head coach, with the great Sam Mills and on the linebacker corps on that, and all of the courses in the 90s in there they had some little bit of success, but a little of a downturn after Jim Moore left, with guys like when Mike Ditka was in there, and didn't do much on everything on that and everything else on that for so many years on the Saints roster. And I think the last coach after that, I think it was Jim Hassett, who had a great run as the Saints head coach, and which got him to a playoff berth the last few years, and which now I think he's a guy on the Tennessee Titans right now. But anyways, the point is that what happened though after that for the Saints. Then a few years after that, he didn't really do much out of it. And of course, that 2005 with Hurricane Katrina, which won probably the worst season since 1980, downhill. And Sean Payton comes in there, turned the tide on the Saints organization, and it made them be a successful team right now. And because of that, I want to congratulate Sean Payton for his success with the New Orleans Saints. I wish him nothing but the best out of New Orleans Saints, and hope he does whatever he does next in the future. What he does. I've always respected Sean Payton as a head coach and everything else like that. You can say all you want about Bountygate and everything else on the Saints organization, but you can't deny he's a good coach, That's all I can tell you on that. So anyways, I wanted to get that thought out of the way about Sean Payton stepping away from the New Orleans Saints on there, and then get my thoughts on the divisional playoffs. Okay, on that, I would say that divisional round is probably the best playoff format on the weekend ever. Well, except for the Titans, Packers, and the Bucks in Buffalo. So I would say that. But, however, that was tremendous playoff finish, tremendous drama out of that, which we'll get to in a bit. That the Tennessee Titans and the Cincinnati Bengals, which I lost that game straight up, but I got the against the spread and the over and under on that one. But Tennessee, I expected it to be a defensive battle, like I mentioned, which it turned out to be true, Not only that, it just happened to go on Cincinnati's favor. It's because of that. And I'll say this for Cincinnati, too, in a bit. But I will say that Evan McPherson did a last-second field goal, and that got him to the conference championship game, their first one since 1988, where Sam White was the head coach and Boomer Esiason was the quarterback. So it's pretty cool on that. And I will say this about the kicks. Evan McPherson, who's been on a rookie on the rookie team this year. He was the only one in the draft class, and he's making a name for himself out of that. Hasn't really missed a field goal. He became the first kicker in NFL history to kick 4 field goals in multiple games in the same postseason, which is very congratulations on that milestone on Evan McPherson. And in fact, he's making him the only kicker out of the draft this year, and he's making a name out of himself out of that. So I applaud Evan McPherson on that one though. So he looked. And his story looks like it's kind of reminding me of Adam Vinatieri's story when 2006 playoffs, which I'll get to that in my picks in a bit. So that's really cool for Evan McPherson on his on kicking standpoint, and which I want to congratulate him on that and on that milestone, which that was an amazing stat on that. So it's pretty cool. Anyways, that being said, but Tennessee, I think there's time to look for a quarterback change on that one. And I think in the draft, that's where they're going to look forward to in the draft. They'll go and pick somebody in the draft. I think they're ranked 23rd now, in the draft or something like that. I really think they should start with a rookie quarterback and build what they got from there. And no disrespect to Ryan Tannehill, and he's done pretty well. But in the playoff success, he hasn't done the best. Even though Ryan Tannehill did get to them in the conference championship game a couple years ago. But I think it's time to look for a quarterback for a situation for Tennessee right now. I think that's the thing for Tennessee to look forward to in the draft is going to a quarterback in there. They have all the weapons on wide receivers and Derrick Henry. There's definitely some quote out of that. I think on the offense, they need to get a quarterback. So I think that's the key momentum in the offseason for them. Anyways, let's go into Green Bay and San Francisco. I apologize for my Facebook ping. That was that. And so if you heard that, my apologies. But anyways, that being said, Green Bay and San Francisco, that was a defensive game that I did not see coming at all. I expect Green Bay to come out of the game and beat them. And that didn't really go. So go out that way. Like Aaron Rodgers had a terrible game. It wasn't going his way and everything else like that. And this could be the last time we saw Aaron Rodgers, which is going to have a similar situation for Tom Brady. He's going to leave the team and go to another team, which I think it's going to be the Denver Broncos probably. So I think Denver's going to go into that and do a similar situation they did with Peyton Manning out of that. So I think that's going to be a key scenario on that case. But if you're San Francisco, that's a really good sign on the defense. Your defense won the game for you. No disrespect to Jimmy Garoppolo. He's winning games. He's doing what he needs to do. But, he won the game and he got the job done. All that matters. He really did. And he's back up for Tom Brady with my New England Patriots for the last few years. And he did pretty well replacing him in the Deflategate scandal. So that's pretty good on that. And now because of that, they're facing their division rivals, which is the LA Rams on this game, which the Rams beat out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay. And almost choked the game on that one. But the Rams did at the last second field goal out of that. And we could see the last time we saw Tom Brady, which I admire Tom Brady as a Patriots fan, and all that. If that's going to be the case, the final ride for Tom Brady. But in my expectation, the way he saw in interviews, so he's going to talk to the family about that. I think he's going to come back for at least one more year. That's it. If that's going to be the case, he's going to try to go out on top and win a Super Bowl. So that's going to be an early prediction, maybe. Not sure yet how I feel about it. There's still time for my early NFL predictions for this coming training camp in the summer. So that's going to be coming up on that. And until then, let's get on to Cincinnati's opponent, which is the Kansas City Chiefs. Which the Kansas City Chiefs probably one of the best divisional round games out of the four, which is out of that game. You could easily argue that quarterback duel with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, that's going to be a quarterback duel we're all going to be talking about in a while. Probably the best one we've seen since Super Bowl 52 with Nick Foles and Tom Brady. So it's probably going to be something out of that. And I got to say this, with Buffalo's defense, and no disrespect to Buffalo, hell of a defense. They beat my Patriots in the playoffs. Hats off to them. I'm not a hater. I mean, I'm a Patriots fan. That's it. That's all I can tell you on this one. But I will say this. I don't care who's the quarterback, if it's a high school quarterback or college quarterback or even a backup quarterback or something. If you are the best defense in football, that is a sign like someone needs to be canned. Could have been the defensive coordinator. I don't know. Could be Sean McPherson. So, yeah. So, in my case, I got to look at who's his name again. Yeah, defensive coordinator. Oh, yeah, that Leslie Frazier. But if I were Leslie Frazier, if I were Buffalo, I would think I'd probably fire him after that. Hey, Leslie Frazier got him a top defense in the league. But you know what? That should have been he should have got canned out of that, out of not holding him for 13 seconds out of that. And maybe he could have turned that into a head coaching position. I don't know. So, and if I were if I were Sean McDermott, if I were the Bills too, I would fire Sean McDermott too, because after what he did and stuff like that. But you know what? It is what it is. What happened on that? That was a really good one. Now Buffalo's complaining. If we had the ball first, we would have been celebrating, thinking about an overtime rule change and everything else like that. Personally, I can like to see another overtime rule thing. Each one has a chance to get to touch the ball twice. But I would change it a little bit. Whoever scores first gets the team another chance, no matter if they touch the ball first or not. So, I mean, that's the way I look at it, as that. So, I mean, yeah, they should change the rules a bit on that. And then the other one is probably go back to 15 minutes. But hey, that's a topic for another day. I'm not going to discuss that right now. So, anyways, that being said, it was a great quarterback duel. But there should be some firing in the Buffalo coaching staff. No doubt about that. If your defense didn't hold them up for 13 seconds, that's saying something. So, anyways, that being said. Alright, that being said, that's my take out of that. But you know what? I have nothing against Buffalo's defense. I have nothing against Josh Allen, that they may be my division rivals, but hats off to them. They beat my Patriots, They beat my Patriots twice after the wind blowing, the win game. So after the Monday night with the wind blowing in their faces. So, hey, what can you say about that? So, anyways, that being said, let's get on to my my conference championship picks. Let's kick things off in the AFC Championship game with the Cincinnati Bengals and the Kansas City Chiefs. What I was going to say about Zach Taylor, I think I made a mistake on the head coach of the year would be. I would say my Patriots, Bill Belichick's going to get it. But now after I see what Zach Taylor's been doing, I think he's going to get it now. So the way that Zach Taylor's been handling the coaching staff of the Cincinnati Bengals, I think of that as this. He's coach of the year in my book. I don't know if you guys agree with me with that. I've been saying Bill Belichick all year. You might get it, and he's going to be in the playoffs without Tom Brady. We'll get it. But, I think I changed my vote on that one to get Zach Taylor in there. So, honestly, I could be doing an NFL award show. I don't know. I mean, that's an idea to do something. Throw some ideas in there for next week or anything like that. But, you know what? That being said, I think for the Cincinnati Bengals case, they're going to a very tough place to play in Kansas City. That very a tough place at home. If you're going to visit Kansas City, that's a very tough atmosphere to play. I mean, that place is loud. So, and he holds the record of that too, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So, I still think of it as Arrowhead, but I think they changed the stadium name. So that's still to me, it's Arrowhead, Arrowhead Stadium, and I think and everything else like that. Oh, what's it called? Gray Field or whatever it's called, but it's still yeah, but I think it was something like that. But anyways, that being said, that stadium is loud, and it's a reason for that. So, anyways, that being said, I think we're going to see a really high-scoring game. Now, a little bit of defense here and there on both sides. So I think it's going to be a high-flying game, and I really think that's the way it's going to go. But I think this is how I'm going to see this as, don't give Cincinnati the ball ass. It's going to bite you. Kansas City learned that lesson during I think it was week 16 when Cincinnati got the division. So I think that's the way I saw it at that. And now this is a rematch, I believe. I forget, what was it, week 17 or week 16 or something like that? So, but I think it was like, I gotta look back on the scheduling again. So, on there again. So, just give me a minute on that. I think it was week 16. No, that was Pittsburgh. So, trying to think where did I put that one. So, yeah, just give me a second, guys. Hold on. If you remember it, you got to remember it. So, it is what it is on that one. But it was a great game, if I'm not mistaken. So, oh my God. And leaving Pittsburgh? No, that's not that one. Not that one. Yeah, right. Week 17. Okay. I apologize. The rematch of week 17, so I apologize. Not week 16. It was 17. When Cincinnati just gave when Kansas City gave Cincinnati too much time on there, and it just cost them the game, and it got Cincinnati the division. So, anyways, that being said, Cincinnati is having Kansas City's number right now. So, I think I wouldn't be surprised if this comes down to that, too. No disrespect to Patrick Mahomes and everything else like that. Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback. He has all the weapons, and so is Cincinnati. And Cincinnati, too, what they're doing. All I'm going to tell you this, if Evan McPherson is going to get a chance to score some points, he possibly may get it. So, so if you're on the edge, do not make Cincinnati go 3-and-out. You possibly win the game. If you don't, like half of the time, you're probably going to lose. And I think that's the way the case for Cincinnati. Kansas City's case is going to go with this one. So I'm going to go the upset in this one, and I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals over the Cincinnati Bengals, making it the first time in almost 34 years, I think it is. Yeah, hold on, excuse me, do my math for a minute. The first time in 34 years that the Cincinnati Bengals are going to go to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry about the math, but I had to do some math ones. So for the first time in 34 years, I'm picking the upset. The Cincinnati Bengals are going to the Super Bowl for the first time in 34 years when they lost to Joe Montana and the Giants, which is that when they had that devastating injury from the Cincinnati Bengals on that one. Which that could have got Cincinnati their first Super Bowl in the 80s, but that didn't turn out to be the case. I forget what injury it was. That was a devastating injury. I think it was Khmer. It was Khmer that could have then. Yeah, because he showed a leg injury. Oh yeah, it was I forget the name of the. He was a great player, too. I'm trying to look at the name up right now, so I apologize. It was probably one of the... Tim Cureen, excuse me. Tim Cureen. That was the name of it. Who was a nose tackle for the Cincinnati Bengals. Which he was pretty good in his day in Cincinnati, though. Couple of Pro Bowls. If it wasn't for that devastating injury, he probably would have got more Pro Bowls. Probably a Hall of Fame player. So anyways, that being said, this will be the first time since then that the Cincinnati Bengals, we go to the Super Bowl in 1988. So that's my pick. And the final score on that one, Cincinnati Bengals, 31, Kansas City, 28. So once again, Cincinnati straight up, Cincinnati plus 7, the over 54, and the final score, Cincinnati 31, Kansas City, 28. The LA Rams and the San Francisco 49ers, round 3 of the division round. For the LA Rams and the San Francisco 49ers. This time it's for the conference championship game. And this is a much similar situation for the San Francisco 49ers. What they did years ago, like over 9 years ago, almost a decade ago, when they lost to the Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl. In Seattle, by the way. So this is a much similar situation that was even Jim Harbaugh as head coach. But this time they're facing the Rams, which are much similar to Seattle's defense back in the Legion of Doom on that one. So this is a much scenario on that. So I'm going to say this. For the LA Rams and the San Francisco 49ers, this is a battle of the defense in this one. So I'm probably going to say this on that one. For the LA Rams, this is going to be a battle of the defenses, but I think Matthew Stafford is going to want it more because he wants to go to the Super Bowl for the first time. So he's never did it with the Lions. He never had a great supporting cast until now with the LA Rams, and this is the key momentum for that. So anyways, this is the point of this for San Francisco for the second year in a row. Yes, you heard me. Second year in a row. A Super Bowl hosting team is going to host the Super Bowl like last year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now this year for the LA Rams. Now all the years for the Super Bowl that no one has home dog as was the home team as the Super Bowl. This is the first 2 years in a row we're going to have that. So I think that the first time in back-to-back seasons with that, this is going to be the key momentum for that. So for the first. So we're going to have that. So I'm going to take the LA Rams over the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC Championship game. And on the line, the LA Rams are favored by 3.5 in this game. This is why I'm going to take San Francisco case on that. They could win the game. They could upset them. So I'm going to take the San Francisco plus 3.5 because I think they're going to keep that as a low-scoring game and everything else like that. Over and under is 46.5. I'm going to go under 46.5. And my final score on that one, the LA Rams 17, the San Francisco 49ers 16. Okay, that's my wrap up my conference championship game picks. Big shout out this week is Matt the NFL Fanatic. Check him out and the rest of the NFL YouTube prognosticator page down below in here. Until then, this is Andrew Warren signing off saying rock out and good luck to all your picks this week.